Hi guys, welcome back. This is a really short 3-minute video. I want to talk to you a little bit about navigating the way through jobs and the uncertainty at the moment, both from an employer's point of view, but also an employee's point of view. Everything is changing day by day. So I want you to think about 3 things. Relationships really matter. And I know it's scary and there's lots of uncertainty and you have to look after number one, but from an employer's point of view, people that have been in business, that have really fought hard to keep their businesses going, that are trying to survive in this climate, are trying to do the right thing by everyone, and they feel an enormous responsibility as an employer, a manager, and a leader to make sure that you're all looked after. And so the understanding that as a business owner, the work that has gone into working 12, 13-hour days for years and years and years, for many has just disappeared overnight. And then the fact they can't be there to support you as their family, your staff, whether you're a contractor or you're on a wage, it's irrelevant. If you're working with someone who has their heart in the business, then they care about you too. So I really want us at the moment to be clear that we're not having an us and them mentality, because we're all in this together. And we want to make sure that businesses can keep going, because then there's jobs to provide. But if we just make sure everyone goes on the dole or whatever else because it's cheaper and easier, there's not going to be any jobs to offer all those people looking for work at a certain point. There has to be an organic situation where we actually respect the hard work, the determination, the dedication that's gone into starting a business in the first place, doing all the work to grow that business to a point where it can have staff, whether you're a contractor or your own wages, to bring on people, to create a sense of community, to have a purpose where everyone can do their bit in that place to their expertise and integrity. I just want to make sure that we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And because you're afraid, you think, I've just got to do the easiest thing. Just be patient, and also have a communication with your employer or the business owner. And how can you rally together as staff to share hours, to create sustainability, to keep the heart in the business? And if you are let off, just know that it's probably not by choice. And yeah, there are going to be exceptions to the rule. There always is. That's human nature. But please understand that letting people go in times like this is the most stressful, gut-wrenching thing for any employer, for any business owner that is passionate about their business and their team. Like, I really care about my team, whether or not they work for me as a contractor or a freelancer 3 hours a week or 30 hours a week. It's irrelevant. They're all part of my family. So their welfare, I think about, I worry about it. And whether or not I've had my business and I've toiled and labored and I work 18-hour days sometimes because it's my passion, I still care about my staff. So your ability to have honest conversations together and to be respectful of your employer and your employees is so crucial right now. How we collectively communicate, how we don't fearmonger and we don't hate on each other and we don't criticize. We go, what's the next right thing to do? And how can we calm everything down and look at an interim solution instead of a knee-jerk solution? What is the best plan of attack and how can we sustain something? And if you are let off and you do have to let people go, remember that this will come full circle and there will be a rebirth of your business and your ideas and the activity. It's just like any fire that burns things to the ground, the shoots will bloom again. It's the same in business. It's how we deal with the situation now. It's the relationship that we have with ourselves, being in our integrity. It's the relationship that we have with our co-workers and our colleagues and our staff and our family. I don't mind who else in your ecosystem is bagging employers and government, whatever else. It's up to you to hold your emotional integrity and to come back with honest discussions, and don't try and slide one in or get a short deal done right now. This is about thinking bigger picture. This is about thinking with a collective energy. This is about all of us pitching in and go, what is not only the right thing by me, but the right thing by us and the company, and the right thing for the greater good, that category A decision making. Right thing by me, right thing by us and the company, the right thing by the greater good. And So I just really want to make sure that we're avoiding the us and them kind of entitled conversation, because I guarantee you, any business owner out there, whether it's a takeaway business, a consulting company, a design company, I don't know what, a legal firm, anyone that started a business has put their heart, soul, blood, sweat, tears, and sacrificed pretty much everything for that business, because it's a part of who they are. So if you're working for those people, please remember that they're doing everything in their power to keep the continuity, to survive, to be in this game. And so as an employee or a contractor, how can you maybe say, are you okay? Could we look at different hours? Could we go 50-50? And maybe also, if you owe invoices to people or anything else that you've been working with, don't just pull everything out of fear, but what will keep some form of cash flow going collectively for everyone? Why the government systems come in, why the new legislation comes in, why the stimulus packages get put into place. It's how we communicate. It's how we treasure our relationships with our suppliers, our staff, our customers, our ecosystem. That really, really matters. I know I said this was going to be a 3-minute video, but I lied. It's probably going to be longer. And the reason I'm bringing this to you is because I've probably spent an average 12 hours a day on the phone with my clients in the last week, navigating through with them. By the way, they've been training for this, so I'm very proud of you guys. You are absolutely shining in your leadership. But we've been navigating other people's reactions and society and groups and friends and family who've been kind of, reacting out of fear and then creating an instability in the workforce and everything else. So yes, there's going to be things out of our control. Yes, people are going to lose jobs. Yes, this is the worst thing that we could possibly imagine. However, we're all in it together. How can you, as an employee, ask and talk to your employer and say, I really value my job. What's going to change? How can you as an employee go, how will my job change? It was in this construct, but in the next foreseeable future, we're all going to be working virtual. What does that mean for me with my skill set? What else do I need to learn? How can I add value? How can I evolve? How can I help? And then as an employer, nobody wants to let staff go. But please remember to be clear and say, I don't know what's going to happen, but here's what's going to happen for now. Here's what I can provide for now. And ask your staff questions. Say, could we all get together as a group and come back with ideas? As an employee, you don't have to know all the answers. You don't have to carry the burden of dealing with everybody all on your own, because you are a collective with your team. And even the person that used to answer the phone for you, or whatever the role is, we all have to be in this together. So I will be doing a specific show today, and I'll put it on LinkedIn and on my show, around how to deal with the fallout of having to let people go, the stress of that, the feeling out of integrity, the pain, the suffering that comes with having to give really, really, really tough news to people. But this video is about how to navigate through these tough times and communicate and keep your relationships going. So maybe you're not working for your employer right now because of this horrible state of affairs. But if you genuinely love that person, you genuinely love that company, you genuinely loved your job, then don't just turn your back. Keep in contact. Ask how you can stay in touch. Ask how the role could change. Come back with some ideas. Be proactive. Be collaborative. And it's the one thing that my dad, who's 90 now, always taught me, is that however you do business, it doesn't matter. It's all about relationships. And, we all learn. We're not perfect. But I urge you to really think about, what is that relationship that you have, not what your family are telling you or anything else, but you and your emotional and intellectual integrity with yourself. And if you do love your job and you did love your employer and you've been let go, don't lose touch with that person. Don't lose touch with that company. Don't throw shade at it. But instead go, maybe I could look at how I could help. Or the other thing is, how can you volunteer in certain things, and how can you use this time to utilize learning of new skills while you are working from home, instead of eating chips on the sofa, which you should do, by the way, if you feel like it, is how can you be agile? So be kind to your staff, but be kind to the business owners that are just trying to work twice as hard or 3 times as hard to pay everyone's salaries in the first place. They're suffering too. So we're all in this together. There is no us and them. It's a collective we. And yeah, you may have some companies where you felt like you've not been treated correctly or etc. So people aren't always going to know what to say or how to react. But this is about being in alignment. So please recognize there's always two sides to a coin. Anyone at the moment that is trying to figure out what to do with the stimulus packages, just be patient with them. Keep your communication, saying to your employer, how can I help? You're not doing anything anyway. What could you do for 2 hours a day to say, listen, I'm not really cool with online stuff, but I'm happy to do a course to get myself up to speed. And then you've got this whole new set of skills that you can offer that person. So I encourage you today to be agile in your thinking and to come from a place of relationship building, not just cutting things out and going, oh, that's not how we need to react. This is not a fight or flight situation. This is a situation where we get to be our whole selves, where we get to learn to be more curious, to be great leaders, no matter what your job title. So say to your family, I got let go today, but I feel like I've got a chance to learn something new, and I really loved working for that company. So I'm going to reach out and say, is there anything I can do in the interim, or is there any way I can support you? Or so as an employer, let me tell you, those messages back from your staff that maybe you can't keep on in the same capacity, but they're willing to do something else to be effective, that really, really means a lot, because any leader will tell you it's really lonely at the top. You have 10 times the responsibility, 10 times the fiscal responsibility, 10 times the emotional responsibility, because you're not only you dealing with this, but you're dealing with everybody's families. Any good heart leader is not just in it for the cash. They're in it because they want to create a legacy. They're in it because they want to create an impact and they want to make a difference. So if that sounds like your employer, then please reach out to them. Please say, hey, this is terrible. How can I help? What extra skills? Please keep me updated. They might not have an answer for you straight away, but the fact that you've said, I respect you, I would love to keep in contact. What could I do even on the smallest scale that you keep intellectually active will be the greatest asset for you in the future, because I do firmly believe that the time we're going through allows us to actually get off autopilot and to fully utilize the multi-dimensional intellectual capacity we have as humans, and not just to accept robotics, but actually to be present and to be engaged and to be part of the change. So, a couple of things just to wrap up. There's no us and them, employees, employers. If you've had a disgruntled moment over the years with your employer or whatever, maybe it's not the right company for you. So just be graceful during this period. Don't have hate, or we react like that when we're upset and we're fearful, but just be curious and go, well, how could I be supportive? How could I show and lead by example to my family that in times of need, we can be agile and I can learn new things? Please also remember, if you're employers and or your managers or your leaders and you've had to let people go, we'll be doing a special episode on dealing with the stress around that too. But we're all in this together. We're all human. We all have emotions, and the uncertainty will give you two things. It will either keep you stuck in fear, or you can be curious. And that really is the discernment between insight and action. So let this uncertainty allow you to be curious, allow you to keep an open mind, allow you to be accountable, and go back to the people that have hired you and go, how can I help? What can I do? Keep connected. Don't disband. Don't queue up for stuff. Be involved. If you want more information, please reach out, nikki@thevitalitycoach.com.au. Send me a message on LinkedIn. Go to Vitality Coach TV on YouTube, thevitalitycoach.com.au on my website. Message me at nfogden-moore on Instagram. Ask me your questions. This is all about being discerning and replacing your fear with curiosity. And remember, no knee-jerk reactions. Be informed, have integrity, and look after each other, because that's what's going to get you out on top. So I hope you like this little episode. Thank you so much for listening. I have a Labrador here that will not let me keep going because she wants me to take her for a walk. And I'm really, really grateful for the people I have around me, and I'm very grateful for my clients for the fact that you're so willing to do the work. So you're becoming exceptional leaders in a time like this, and that's where we create the ripple effect. So stay healthy, wealthy, and wise, guys. And remember, you've got this. Okay, bye.